pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jeff Renahan, First Ward.
Bill Carlos, Second Ward.
Jessica Lopez, Third Ward.
Matt Wolliver, Fifth Ward.
Ann Schuster, Sixth Ward.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Jim Nelson's here somewhere. He'll join us momentarily. And John Baisley, Supervisor for the town.
And we also have Ron Glass sitting in over there.
Right, tonight's agenda, we have one public hearing. We're going to open it, and then we're going to adjourn it till May 2nd. Public hearings on Raymond Avenue School. Give a motion to open public hearing number one.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody here to discuss public hearing number one? If not, can I make a motion to adjourn public hearing
So moved.
number one to May 2nd?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
That comes to the end of our public hearings. We have a rather short agenda. We had a couple cancellations. Number one was a presentation from Hudson Heritage. They'll be back at our next meeting, our following meeting. They're going to the planning board first. And we had a presentation from Stratford Farms that's been canceled as of now. The appointment of Kimberly McNamee to evidence technician for the police department. Promote Lori Tortorelli as senior clerk in the water department. Authorize the supervisor to sign a Dutchess County Resource Recovery Agency agreement. Authorize April as Worldwide Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. 9, appoint Paul A. to Zoning Board of Appeals. 9, appoint Brian Powers to Planning Board. 10, authorize the Highway Department to purchase Volvo wheel loader. 11, authorize the supervisor to sign a street light authority agreement for Antoinette Drive. 12, authorize Rinaldi Flea Markets. 13, notice of claim, James versus the town, and SC1 special consent, Stratford Farms, possible agreement. With that, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules for any agenda item.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody like to discuss any, Doreen?
So, agenda item number 6, the settlement with the Dutchess County Resource Recovery Agency. So, it says the settlement is for a term of 5 years, commencing on January 1st, 2018, and expiring on December 31st, 2023. Well, that's not a 5-year term. If you were commencing January 1st, 2018 for 5 years, then it would be January 1st, 2023. So is it 5 years or is it 6 years?
State them dates again?
Okay. Okay, if it's starting on January 1st
Yeah.
of 2018 and it's a 5-year term, then it would be January 1st of 2023. But this says it's a term commencing December 31st of 2023. So is it 5 years or is it 6 years?
Should be 5 years. Emily with 6, Doreen, we're going to take 6.
Because 6 full years is 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. And you're saying it's commencing January 1st, 2018. So if it's 5 years, 5 years from January 1st, 2018 should be January 1st, 2023.
Well, or if they want to keep
Could
it
be
as December
December.
31st, it should be
Well,
20.
but it should be 6 years then.
Yeah.
So which is it?
We'll call, it's supposed to be 5 years. We'll call and clarify the date.
All right, so you're not going to vote on this
No,
with
we're
that?
going to vote on it as 5 years. That was the agreement.
Is 1,
All right, so you're not going to,
3.
okay. Well, you're going to vote on something then with an accurate date?
No, we're going to change the date and we'll vote on it.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to change it now, okay. And then regarding special consent item number 1 for Stratford Farm, well, as of like 5 o'clock, the documents said the attachments were to be posted, but they weren't. So I'm not sure what this is, but it says it's a guarantee agreement instead of a surety bond. And I'd like to remind the board members that have been on the board for a while, and those people that haven't, that this subdivision project in 3rd Ward has had a number of problems over the years. In 2005, there was a front-page article in the Poughkeepsie Journal about stormwater issues that caused flooding for neighbors, and so there was a DEC consent order, and the town had to issue stop work orders. So then in 2014, I alerted the town board that Stratford Farms, when they were coming in for an extension, that they had $6,000 in outstanding escrow payments they hadn't made, which they subsequently paid. So bottom line is, whatever you're doing with Stratford Farms, and like I said, I couldn't see the attachments, you better be very certain of what you're doing, because they have a history of offenses.
We will be going into executive session to discuss it with the board members prior to making any decisions.
Okay, that's good. Regarding agenda item number 8, to appoint alternate Paul Leahy to the zoning board as a regular member. That's a 3rd Ward ZBA seat that was open since December 31st, 2017, it looks like. And that was never posted on the town's website, and I just think that that should have been posted along with other positions. So, again, that one was up for several months now, but not posted. And then I have a question on agenda item number 9, to appoint alternate Brian Powers to the planning board as a regular member. Well, Powers is from the 6th Ward, and right now there's 2 seats open on the planning board, one for the 1st Ward and one for the 3rd Ward. So whose ward is the first? Is he filling Jeff's 1st Ward position or Jessica's 3rd Ward?
He's going to fill a position, Doreen. It doesn't have to be. We always try to make it fair and equal, but we figure with the alternates, I've discussed this with most of the members, that if we have an alternate, the alternate usually gets to sit most of the time. That we think filling a permanent spot with an alternate spot, and then having the board members look for somebody to start out in the alternate spot to see if they're really interested in the position, and then moving them up, because we'll have another zoning board spot available this year, and then the planning board spot, there'll be another one available this year also.
Well, alternates, I understand, are, can be from whatever ward, but traditionally, it's always been that there is somebody who's a regular member from one of each of the
Yes.
wards.
And that's why we're trying to at least get him represented as an alternate to move forward and get some training. And like as in Mr. Leahy's case, the reason it really wasn't advertised is he's been an alternate for many years, and he has the experience and knowledge, and the spot happens to fall into Councilwoman Lopez's spot, and she called and discussed with him, and he was more willing to come aboard, and we had a lengthy discussion with the head of the zoning board to see if that's what he would like also.
Right, but in Leahy's case for the zoning board, he actually resides in the 3rd Ward, and
Yes.
that's where the opening is.
Yes.
I'm talking about, it's a different story, I think, for the planning
Yeah.
board. You're putting somebody from the 6th Ward into either a 1st Ward or 3rd Ward position.
Yeah, we're doing it because of his knowledge. He's there, he's been good, and we will look for a 1st Ward spot, in the planning board to be an alternate. So if next year a spot comes available, it may be in a different ward, we can put that one in where they belong.
And, the other thing I want to say about these, why people say, oh, these are volunteer positions and they're hard to fill. Well, volunteer to me means you're volunteering just for the heck of it. You're not getting paid for it. And I filed a FOIL request about these positions, and they get paid for field trips. They get paid for regular planning board meetings. And in the case of the chairman, he's billing like a lawyer. He's billing for meetings with, and if you want me to discuss this at the end of the meeting, I will. He's billing for meetings with, to interview prospective planning board members, $55. Talking with Eric Holman of the planning department, $55. And again, I will discuss this at the end of the meeting in more detail. I won't take up your time now, but again, when you say it's hard to find people and these are volunteer positions, in the case of John Weissman, I think it was like 1 year it was like $2,300 he got paid. So just to make it clear, these are not people who are just volunteering and of their time and not getting anything in return. They are being paid. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Mr. Leahy.
I'm Paul Leahy. How do you do?
Good, how are you?
I appreciate the opportunity to move up from an alternate to a full member, full sitting member. Thanks very much.
You come highly recommended, and we've discussed this with the councilwoman in that section, and we think you're a perfect fit, and talking to Mr. Chally.
Thanks very much.
Anybody else? Motion to resume the rules?
So moved?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Jeff?
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Kimberly A. McNamee to the position of full-time evidence technician under the provisions of civil service law at the grade 6, step 1, yearly salary of $44,782.40, effective March 26, 2018, which appointment is subject to a probationary period of not less than 26 nor more than 52 weeks per civil service law. And be it further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So move.
Second.
A motion second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby promote Lori Tortorella to the full-time position of senior clerk for the town of Poughkeepsie Water Department at the CSCA grade 6, step 3 salary of $23.42 per hour. 24.5 cents an hour. Okay. Effective immediately, which promotion is subject to a probationary period of not less than 8 nor more than 26 weeks per civil service law, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this promotion. So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for the Personnel Committee for interviewing and taking care of this process.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize supervisor to sign settlement agreement in matter between Dutchess County Resource Recovery Agency and the town of Poughkeepsie in substantially the form attached. So moved?
Would you like me to make a motion to change that date to
December 31st, 2022.
22? Yep. So I'll make a motion to change the end
Second.
date.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution 7, whereas Parkinson's disease is a progressive neurological movement disorder of the central nervous system which has a unique impact on the patient, and whereas according to the Parkinson's Action Network, the Parkinson's Disease Foundation, the American Parkinson's Disease Association, and the National Institutes of Health, there are over 1 million Americans diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, and whereas symptoms include slowness, tremor, difficulty with balance and speaking, rigidity, cognitive and memory problems, and whereas although new medicines and therapies may enhance life for some people, for some time for people with Parkinson's, more work is needed for a cure. And whereas increased education and research are needed to help find more effective treatments with fewer side effects and ultimately a cure for Parkinson's disease. And whereas a multidisciplinary approach to Parkinson's disease care includes local wellness, support, and caregiver groups. And whereas April has been proclaimed as a worldwide Parkinson's Awareness Month for all to recognize the need for more research and help in dealing with the devastating effects of Parkinson's disease. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie proudly proclaims the month of April 2018 as Parkinson's Awareness Month and encourages all municipal officials, citizens, and visitors to participate in the scheduled activities to learn more about Parkinson's disease. So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Paul Legge to the current vacant position on the town of Poughkeepsie Zoning Board of Appeals for a 7-year term, which term is from January 1st, 2018 through December 31st, 2024. So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions?
I move that we postpone consideration of this until such time as this position can be posted publicly.
I would normally agree, except that he already sits on the board. You know, these are alternates. These aren't people that we just didn't hire. I mean, he's been sitting on the board for years now. I think we should move forward with his appointment.
And won't we also have a vacancy then in the alternates that we could post that and
We can
start looking
absolutely
for a
post
new
that.
person?
And having a discussion with some of the members, I thought that was a good opportunity to have them start there, and if they don't like it, they're not really fully seated.
And for this one, you know, I did have the opportunity to meet with Paul and contact him and offered the position, talked with him at length about, you know, what his plans are and how he has been working on the board already. And I recommended the resolution on
Yeah,
this.
I have no problem with him personally. I just
Yeah.
like to see all of the Ts crossed and Is dotted. So,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-1. Is it me?
Yes, you.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie is hereby appoint Brian Powers to the current vacant position on the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, which appointment expires on December 31st, 2022. So moved.
Second.
The motion and second. Any questions on this one?
Now, this one I do. I would like to make a motion to table this one. Just for the logistics of if we're going to automatically put alternates in seats even when it's not in their ward. I'm not necessarily saying I think that that's a bad idea, but I would like to have a plan. Then does the ward members who that seat has been taken, will they then get to pick the next alternate? And also, I think that whomever's ward is going to be represented, be it the first ward for Jeff or me in the third ward, we should also have a chance to at least meet and speak with the person.
That's what you want? That's-
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Disagree?
I'll second the motion.
Thanks.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to table?
Motion
is
to-
table, yes.
Sorry, Jim, I'm still new at this.
Number 10.
Okay, whereas the Town of Poughkeepsie Highway Department wishes to purchase a new Volvo wheel loader, now therefore be it resolved that after reviewing the recommendations of Highway Superintendent Pfeiffer, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor or Highway Superintendent to execute such documents as are required to purchase one Volvo wheel L90H loader through Vantage Equipment of Latham, New York, under NJPA contract number 032-515-BCE at a price of $190,966, which is 42.9% less than the list price, the cost of which is covered by CHIP funds. And be it further resolved, the contract is exempt from the town's purchasing policy because it is a state bid contract, and it is an equipment purchase, which is a type 2 action requiring no secret review. So move.
Second.
Motion and second. Any questions on this one? It is a budgeted item. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a Central Hudson Gas and Electric Corporation Street Lighting Authority order for the installation of an LED streetlight on pole number 60468 at 24 Antoinette Drive, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie has heretofore received an application from Rinaldi Flea Market to hold a flea market every Sunday from April 2018 through October 2018 to be held at 900 Dutchess Turnpike, Poughkeepsie, New York, owned by Poughkeepsie Business Park 2, and be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby approve the application as submitted, and that the Town Clerk is in receipt of the applicable fees and certificate of liability insurance, naming the Town of Poughkeepsie as an additional insured. So moved.
Second.
The motion is second. Any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Resolution 13 is a notice of suit James versus Town. Resolution 14, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby grant special consent to the following items, to wit, authorize supervisor to sign Stratford Farms agreement and completion guarantee, and be it further resolved that upon the objection of any member of the Town Board, an item may be removed from the list and voted on separately. So moved.
Second?
Motion is second on this one. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
At this point, before we go, we're going to go into executive session to discuss this, but I'd like to open the floor to any public comment at all, so people don't want to stay, they don't have to stay. All in favor? Motion to suspend the rules for public comment?
So moved.
So moved. Anybody, Doreen?
Okay, so now I would like to talk about the payments to the town planning board members. So there is nothing in town code that specifies exactly how much these people are getting paid. I know under town law, GML, you can pay appropriate expenses. So, like I said, for field trips, for a regular planning member, it's $30 a field trip they get. John Weissman, who's the chairman, somewhere along the way, it was determined that he gets $40 to go on a field trip. Regular planning board meeting, regular attendee gets $45. John Weissman gets $55 as chairman. And again, like I said, there's things like a meeting with John Weissman with Neil Wilson, who was the Director of Municipal Development, $55. Meet with an attorney about Arlington Farms, $55. Interview a potential planning board member, $55. Where does it say that these payments are to be made? Like, where's the schedule? Who determined how much? Does anybody have any idea?
Lorena, I look back, and as far as I can find, so far as I remember back 6-7 years ago, we changed the fees. What they got paid, not the fees, but what they got paid. But that was it. I haven't found a schedule. I don't find it in the zoning. I'm not really sure.
So, well,
We're looking into it deeper.
I filed a FOIL request to ask for where in the town code it said that they were to get paid and how much. So you found something because...
No, I just remember personally, that was a discussion during one of the budget meetings years ago that they changed it. I haven't gone back to find it.
Okay, but there was no, I'm not aware of any...
We're looking also.
Okay, and then the other thing is that some of these, so then they have vouchers, and it says, John Weissman, certify the above amount. This is the one where he was paid $575 in a month. There's a spot for dates and signatures, and and then department approvals, and they're all blank on the bottom. And then I also think that these people were also getting paid for some educational classes they took. There's a possibility for that. And that wasn't on any of the vouchers for reimbursement. And the other thing is that I questioned some of the accuracy of some of these things where I see that, somebody else got paid like, $45 for a planning board field trip when that was over and above. So I think there's a few issues with the actual accounting, but my real concern is who's determining who's getting paid and what they can basically, like I said, it's almost like he's an attorney billing for his hours. And I don't think that's necessarily right for a volunteer position. I think you should be volunteering just to volunteer your time, just like I'm sure when you were in the New Hamburg Fire District, you didn't get paid when you were chairman.
No.
And, so that's the way I believe it should be.
No, there's a fee, and it's in there, they should be getting something. We have to go back and find out where it actually is. They found documents that go back many, many years, Jim, when they put it in place, but it really it's not clear yet
It's the only
where
one.
it comes.
It seems like if that's the case, then these positions should not be posted as voluntary. If there's a stipend that obviously it exists because it's been changed, then posting the position as voluntary is misinformation.
No, it's a stipend. It's supposed to be for certain things, just, cover their expenses for coming. It's not like paying them for their hours. It's for their time. And I was always under the impression that was for the 2 meetings, the workshop and the other one. I didn't understand and somebody just brought some of that to my attention the other day, so we haven't really dug into what it was.
Right, well, I said, I just filed the FOIL request and just got all of this, so I wasn't sure before what they were paid for and was really surprised and actually somewhat appalled at some of these. So, and then the last thing, and sort of along those same lines, I was looking at the independent auditor's report for the year ending 2016 for the town. And one of the things that was listed as a significant deficiency was the fact that basically a lack of accounting as to tracking deposits made to the town by contractors or individuals. So what it sounds like to me is the planning department's escrow accounts potentially. And it says the town may be overstating or understating potential liabilities.
That's been addressed, Dorian.
Okay, so it has been addressed?
Charlie addressed it, it'll be in the next audit. It wasn't that it was misstated. It was just the way that they accounted it from downstairs to upstairs. They had 2 different records, and really, it wasn't easy to cross-reference They
Okay,
changed and Charlie put it back in place the way it should be.
Okay, because, yeah, the response I saw from Charlie, but Charlie Amberger, who's the town comptroller, it says the process had been decentralized from the comptroller's office, and the departments given the new tasks did not maintain spreadsheets, which was an internal control error.
Yeah, they
So-
maintained it, but they didn't maintain a spreadsheet that was easy to follow and match the money to Charlie's money. Because for years, when he was here prior, it was done that way. And then somewhere in the midterm, they changed, I think it was lost to somebody in the accounting office. They took it over downstairs and they didn't do it the way it should be done with a spreadsheet. The money's there, it's all accounted for, but it's not the easiest to track. So Charlie's been down there middle of last year addressing it to get it back the way it should be.
Well, it's good because part of the reason I asked is once before, when I filed the FOIL request for escrow accounts, it seemed like it was quite an ordeal to find out who was up to date and who wasn't, which didn't give me a good feeling as to the accuracy of the data, so.
Yeah, Charlie wants to go back to the spreadsheet method, and they've been working with them probably the last 4 months on it,
Okay.
since he came back.
Okay, and some of the other postings are on the town's website, so thanks for that. Like, I think it was somebody in the water department, there were several job positions that were posted as available, so thank you.
We're trying to get them all there, it just takes a while.
Okay, thanks.
Anybody else? Jeff? Yep.
Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie is hereby adjourned to executive session to consider the following matters to wit. 1, contract negotiations. 2, confidential communications between the attorney and his client, the town board, based on the attorney-client privilege. And 3, matters leading to the appointment, employment, dismissal, or removal of a person, firm, or corporation. So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Going to executive session at 7:26. I'd like to invite Mr. Glass to come in.
Are we reading it? Just,
Town board comes back from executive session at 7:51. No action was taken.
whereas ABD Stratford LLC received approval for the Stratford Farm subdivision on August 18, 1998, and has pursued the development of phases 1 and 4 of the subdivision after supplying the town with a surety bond relating to the installation of certain improvements, and whereas the developer wishes to now proceed with phase 2 and 3 of the subdivision to execute the annex agreement as a condition to proceeding with said work, and has offered to provide the town the completion guarantee agreement annexed hereto in the place, and instead of surety bond, now therefore be resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign the annex agreement of completion guarantee agreement in substantially the forms attached, and be it further resolved that the town board determines that the execution of these agreements is a type 2 action requiring no environmental review because they are part of the ongoing administration of the town and involve no new programs or major recording of priorities that may affect the environment.
All subject to the developer depositing and maintaining sufficient escrow funds with the town to cover the town's accrued and continuing consultant expenses relating to this project.
So moved.
Something like that.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or further discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Okay, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Town board adjourns at 7:52 PM. Thank you.